Human beings are basically blind to reality.
But we still don't know exactly what these magnetic fields look like to them. We're basically blind to a whole layer of reality that birds see every single day.
This paradigm kind of flips on its head, where it looks at the brain and body as a receiver of consciousness.
Eccles and others who are dualists would say maybe the brain is the receiver of consciousness, like a radio receiver.
Exactly.
There was a time.
Once upon a time, in a famous story, a girl named Alice got very curious about a little white rabbit who passed by.
How to become a cult leader. We're gonna do it, don't worry, don't sully my dreams.
My son Oren thinks he bridged to Nigga Chain AI Layer 2.
We are receiving programming, we are watching video, we are learning. Learning what? Nigga Chain AI Layer 2.
Nigga Chain AI Layer 2.
Welcome, thank you for coming to the dojo. Tell your mama said hi. Where your mom at? Where your mom at?
Nigga, where your mom at, nigga?
One drunk man is more intelligent than 3 women with PhDs.
Thank you so much.
What did he say?
I just tell the truth.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
You need to leave.
You don't have future here. You don't have future. You can never make it.
You shut up!
Anything possible!
I disagree.
What do you mean?
The fuck was that?
He could only have gotten that idea from Benjamin Netanyahu.
What did you say, nigga?
You the devil!
Welcome to the Luq-Man Show.
Human beings are basically blind to reality. There's so much information that's out there that's in and going through us and around us that we can't detect, that we can't see. Most of the electromagnetic spectrum we're blind to. I actually seen this thing the other day. It basically said if the whole electromagnetic spectrum was the size of New York, the visual light that you could see would be like a quarter. Think about that. If all of the visual, like the electromagnetic spectrum, all of the information, the radio waves, the gamma rays, the Wi-Fi, the magnet rays, if all that was the size of New York, you wouldn't, like, the visual light that you could see, the sliver of that you could see as visual light is the size of a quarter. So you're basically blind. You can't see
anything.
You can't see anything. Infrared light. Like when you see people put on night vision, or they're like the nature channels, when they're observing animals in the wild, and you can see the heat coming off of them with the infrared light, right?
Mm-hmm.
That information is always there. That wavelength is always present. You just don't have any detection for it, right? And that's most of reality. Even the senses you do have, the senses that you possess, like vision, for example, right? You can't see better than an eagle. Or hearing. You can't hear as good as a dog, or smell as good as a bear. They have so much more range within the senses that you have. But there's so much more other fields of information that exist in reality that you have no senses for at all. So for example, you don't feel blind to the Earth's magnetosphere, but that's how all the birds travel around for their migration, exactly. So, but you don't feel blind to that. Like you don't feel blind in the sense of, oh, I can't see the Earth's magnetic sphere, therefore I feel lacking. Does that make sense?
Did you know that birds can see magnetic fields? While you're using GPS to navigate, certain birds have been seeing Earth's magnetic field for millions of years. And I mean literally seeing it, like a glowing map painted across their vision. Birds have a protein called cryptochrome in their eyes that uses quantum entanglement. When light hits it, paired electrons get influenced by Earth's magnetic field, creating visual patterns that work like a built-in compass. Imagine if you could see Wi-Fi signals floating through the air. That's basically what birds experience with Earth's magnetism. Migratory birds like robins and warblers navigate thousands of kilometers using this quantum superpower, even on cloudy days when there's no sun or stars. It's like having augmented reality goggles showing you invisible navigation routes. This magnetic vision shows up as colors or patterns overlaid on everything they see, but we still don't know exactly what these magnetic fields look like to them. We're basically blind to a whole layer of reality that birds see every single day.
So I want to start off the idea with basically that we're basically blind. There's so much more happening in and around you all the time, and you could basically perceive a small sliver of it. So your brain and body is basically a filter. It's all this information out there, right? And it's using the senses that you have, the touch, the smell, the whatever. And even within those, it's filtering it down into experience that you can understand. So where I want to go from there is basically that not only is the senses that you're getting fed in are being filtered down, maybe your consciousness itself is being filtered down, which it hinges on this idea of, instead of looking at the brain and body or the brain as producing consciousness, it's something that, like, instead of like looking at the view of the brain and the body produce consciousness, it's something that it produces, it emits, right? This paradigm kind of flips on its head, where it looks at the brain and body as a receiver of consciousness. Okay. So just like a radio receiving a signal, right?
Yeah.
You go to a specific channel, you receive the signal of that channel. If you break the radio, the signal is still there. So this would jive with almost all the religions, a lot of philosophies, a lot of ways of looking at life, your soul, your afterlife, right? So you're receiving your consciousness. If you destroy the brain and the body, the consciousness is still there. It just doesn't have the specific filter that is going through, right? Mm-hmm. So if you look at this frame, this outlook as, not only are you filtering the information that you're getting, but the consciousness yourself is being filtered by your brain and body. Your brain and body is tuned to a specific frequency, which is your soul.
Yes.
And you're the one that casting in, kind of thing, right?
Got it.
We begin to see the brain not so much as the manufacturer of consciousness, like the philosopher John Searle would say, the brain produces consciousness like the stomach produces digestion.
Yes.
Eccles and others who are dualists would say maybe the brain is the receiver of consciousness, like a radio receiver.
Exactly. And I think that is a beautiful analogy that has been used way back from the time of people in the 1800s, for example, William James. That was a beautiful analogy that I think still holds very well, that perhaps you have this non-local consciousness and the brain is receiving information from that non-local consciousness, which could be, again, your own mind, but perhaps other people's minds as well in the universe. And you receive that creative information, it comes into your local consciousness of your mind and then down to affect your brain.
So the brain acts as a filter.
Definitely.
So where I want to go with this is basically, there's so many fields that we can't perceive that are all around us. What other fields are out there that we don't know about yet? And where I want to go with this is basically that ideas are out there. Like if your brain and body is a filter, you can open yourself up to certain things. And there's certain practices, certain rituals, certain states of mind, certain states of being that either open you up to these ideas and make you receive these downloads, or if your filter's too strict, you don't have any of these elaborate openings or these kind of weird information that cracks through in certain senses. If this is the case, you can alter the filter of your brain and body. So to give you more chances of receiving different information that's out there that you can't usually receive in a regular state of mind. So dreams, meditation, psychedelics, trance states, near-death experiences, extreme stress is one of those ones. So, and you'll see with this, like, there's so much things that happen in the real world that reinforce this kind of outlook, that make it seem more likely. I'm not saying I know for sure, but I feel like this is, we're playing with ideas here. Okay, so what could some of these hidden fields be? Like,
Once upon a time, in a famous story, a girl named Alice got very curious about a little white rabbit who passed by. She followed him and soon found herself falling down a very deep hole into a strange place called Wonderland.
Wait!
I'm late.
Hey, wait!
I'm too late.
Nowadays, there are still girls and boys whose curiosity leads them to strange places.
Still good. Okay, so there was a time that we didn't know about electric fields, magnetic fields, the ionosphere, the radio waves, but they always exist, right? So what other fields do exist now that we can't perceive? There's so think about ideas that we kind of talk about in popular culture or in the world, in our kind of common understanding, like zeitgeist. Zeitgeist is a German word for like a collective, it's on the collective mind. Like if I say something's in the zeitgeist, it's like we're all thinking about it. Like right now, the Strait of Hormuz, it's in the zeitgeist. Everybody in the world is kind of thinking about it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So it goes also with the idea of Carl Jung. Carl Jung talks about human beings as a collective, having a collective unconscious. Like just as you have a specific unconscious within your own self, there's like an unconscious thing within the collective as well. So these are some of the fields I'm trying to make it akin to some of these things, right? Rupert Sheldrake has this idea of morphic resonance. And he's saying just like the zeitgeist, just like the collective unconsciousness, right? There's a field that exists like that for nature, where it's informational and it's also will show, like, it'll inform plants on how to grow and things like that, but it also has memory. So this is basically proving, or this is explaining some of the things we all experience, right? Mm-hmm. So he's saying when you experience, you're thinking about somebody and they call you. Mm-hmm. That you're tapping into the morphic field. It's a field of information that you're getting information from. You don't know how or where, but it's like it exists there. It's kind of giving. It's basically giving a how does it work to those type of experiences, right?
Yes.
Another one of those experiences is when somebody's watching you, and you look back and you find the person's gaze, right?
Evidence suggests that our minds reach out much further than our heads through attention and intention. One line of evidence is that when we look at people, we can sometimes affect them. People can turn round if we're staring at them. The vast majority of people have had this experience. They've felt when they're being looked at, and they've made other people turn round by looking at them. That's the effect of attention. The effect of intention is also detectable by people from far away. If we think about somebody, we want to call them on the telephone, and then we call them. Quite often, people feel our intention before we make the call. They start thinking about us, and when we make the call, they say, "That's funny, I was just thinking about you." Now, I've done a lot of experiments that show the sense of being stared at is real. The telephone telepathy is not just a coincidence, it's not just random chance, it's a real phenomenon. And these phenomena, which are extremely common, almost everyone's experienced them, show that our minds are in fact extended beyond our brains.
Even when they're teaching you how to be like a detective or somebody who private detective, right? Somebody who like watches you, or spies or whatever. They train you not to put your gaze on somebody's back, and that doesn't even make a sense. It doesn't make sense at all in the physicalist, materialist outlook. Why? Because photons, like light itself, it doesn't have weight. It doesn't have mass at all. Mm-hmm. So how can you feel light or the light that somebody's capturing off of your back? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So this would be an explanation for that. Think about somebody and they call you, you feel like somebody's looking at you and somebody is staring at you, those type of things. So he calls it, his idea is morphic fields, morphic resonance. It's just basically another field that exists, but it has information and so much more.
It's familiar.
Exactly, like a zeitgeist or a hive mind or a collective unconsciousness for nature. The cool thing about that is you'll see these things, you'll see so many things make sense if you look at it with this worldview, right? So you'll see crystals. In labs, they'll try to make new crystalline structures with different molecules, right? Once you make it for the first time in one lab, the same thing, it happens so much faster in every lab around the world. It's like the information's out there, and then reality knows how to collapse that crystal way faster now. So,
for example, the sugar alcohol xylitol was first isolated in 1891, and it was a liquid, and people thought it was just a liquid. But then, in 1942, it crystallized in one lab with crystals that had a melting point of 61 degrees centigrade, and suddenly xylitol crystallized all over the world.
There's more things like that. There seems to be behavior inherited through generations that are not instincts or evolution. Let me give you an example of this. They did an experiment with rats.
The facts fit very well with morphic resonance. In the realm of animal behavior, there's a well-known example of rats. A long series of experiments at Harvard, Edinburgh and Melbourne University in Australia showed that when you train rats to learn a new trick, escaping from a water maze, the more rats that learned it, the easier it got for other rats to learn it, even in other parts of the world. And this wasn't just rats that were descended from trained rats who might have inherited this epigenetically, but it was all rats of that breed, even ones whose parents had never been in a water maze before.
But there's like a saying of like the 101st monkey kind of thing, where it's like you'll see monkeys on one island figure something out, and a few islands away with no contact, that like the same type of species will figure out that same behavior or that same tool use. It's like something that's in the air, like information that's in the field that can be accessed once you're a species or your brother or like something closer to you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The more it's like your kin, it's probably way more accessible to you in the morphic field. If it's your species, if you're a mammal, does that make sense? Like
what you relate to.
Yeah, you have more access to that field that exists in nature, depending on how much you need it, kind of thing. That's kind of a leap, but we'll keep going from there. So with this worldview, it explains like the filtering of consciousness, the filtering of basically all of your senses, all of the information. We talked about you can't see anything, you can't perceive anything, right? So with this worldview, explains all these things like simultaneous discovery. I think we talked about episode 1. of like, there's discoveries that happen and certain people pick them up. Divided by space and time, at the exact same moment, they'll pick it up, independently figure it out. So we already talked about, I think one of the examples we use is Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. They independently invented calculus at the same time, right? Another one we talked about, Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace. They came up with the evolutionary theory, the same time, the same theory, different people coming into, right? Another one, oxygen, discovering the molecule oxygen. Joseph Priestley and Carl Wilhelm Scheele, Scheele, independently discovered the same elements. Yeah, I guess oxygen is, element. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, at the exact same time, it's like ideas coming down. And then I had references as well as like, there's a filmmaker that I really love. He has this concept of basically there's thousands and millions of ideas out there. And you kind of have to tune yourself to those things.
They're out there, millions and millions of ideas, and we don't know them until they enter the conscious mind. We fall in love with it for some reason. Something inside of us says, this is a great idea for me.
See, I have this theory, or hypothesis, whatever you want to call it, that all of the songs, films, and pieces of artwork, etc., are already out there, just a few feet above us all, and it only takes the person that consistently cares the most about them to jump up and receive them.
There's so much more. So the Alexander Graham Bell and Elisha Gray, they patented the filings for the telephone on the same day. On the exact same day, they, like, unbeknownst to each other, they patented the same technology. But we just know about Alexander Graham Bell.
Wow.
Also, if you're in Canada, fuck Bell. No, I'm joking. They're a conglomerate, bro. Rogers, Bell, all these motherfuckers, they're colluding. We pay the most for airfare and phone. Fight back. Vote for Luq-Man. Join my cult. Join my cult. Join my cult. Yo, should we do cult? Is it better cult and then political party? Or you try to start a political party? I'm saying, what would be better to start a cult? Do you think a better start would be like, try to start a cult, couple of people, less than 10.
Yes.
Then you slowly morph that into a political party. And then the political party be the arm, the way that you get people in. But then you also make a hierarchy where basically like the top of the organization is like 20 to 20 people that are really in a cult. And to the rest of the world, to the rest of the world is political party.
So on both. Party /
You know what? You keep talking about something long enough, it happens. Cult leader. You're gonna see Luq-Man on Netflix. How to become a cult leader. We're gonna do it. Don't worry. Don't sully my dreams. It's almost like some ideas want to come down. Well, that's a whole other bag of a different thing. I'm not gonna give agency to these ideas. That's like too complex. I don't want to do that right now. Okay, so the same view that we're talking about, right? If we're saying that your brain and body is filtering all this information, and not always doing that, it might be filtering your consciousness. You might be casting into or receiving that signal that is your consciousness through your brain and body. So let's say I damage your brain, right? You can't get the signal that is whatever your name is, right? And it gets fuzzy. So then, does that make sense? That just like if I'm on a specific channel on TV, right? And it's not like the internet, like let's say old TV, and it's on a specific channel. If I destroy the TV, the information of the channel is still there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that's like what brain damage is. You're destroying the TV, but the signal is still there.
Still there,
So
yeah.
using this same model of consciousness and processing information, right? It makes sense that if you alter the filter that is your brain and body, you'll be open up to more information.
My son Oren thinks he bridged to Nigga Chain AI Layer 2.
We are receiving programming, we are watching video, we are learning. Learning what? Nigga Chain AI Layer 2.
Nigga Chain AI Layer 2.
And this is what I was talking about. So there's breakthroughs that happen that we all benefit from, right? That scientists have made, and they will tell you it's because of altered states of consciousness. I was not able to think about it. One of the examples I want to do is August Kukele, German guy, very cool name. Anyways, he discovered the molecular form of benzene. Anyways, he had a dream of a snake eating itself, right? And it turned out to be the exact same layout of the molecule that he needed, the exact breakthrough. Does that make sense? People might say it's a metaphor, but if you look at the structure of benzene, I don't know if I can look at my editing. but it symbolically looks exactly like the snake eating itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thomas Edison used hypnagogic half-asleep states for ideas. Hypnagogia is like the state right before you knock out. Like you're going to bed, you're going to your bed, and there's a weird state where it's like you're conscious but you're unconscious. You hear things that are out there. It's like have you been in that state before? Where it's like you don't even know why, like things don't even make sense. You might be even hearing something that's not there. You're in this weird like phase right before you lose consciousness and right before you're sleeping. It's called hypnagogia. It's like this weird state of consciousness, and Thomas Edison praises a lot of those states for his ideas. Nikola Tesla, you can look up to that guy. That guy was definitely freaky. Not freaky, but I feel like he can't use a freaky anymore. Like freaky is like freaky, man. Like you're going to fucking Thailand or something. Like you can't do that. No, he was far out there. That guy definitely, he was a weirdo for his time even. He's a weirdo for any time. He would be able to, mentally simulate entire machines in detail. That's another thing that he did. Almost like these daydream-like states where he was able to construct whole machineries in his mind, test them for faults and things like that, and actually make something that's viable in his head without even blueprints or anything like that. A physical model. Able to do all that in his mind. These are not normal states of consciousness.
Nikola Tesla could build entire machines in his mind. He would mentally construct every gear, test every wire, and perfect every detail before touching a single tool. His mental laboratory was so precise that when he finally built the physical device, it worked flawlessly.
What I'm saying is these people that are so influential throughout history, they tap into this weird in-between states, and it actually has real world effects. Carrie Mullis, the PCR test that we all took, that we're all very familiar with because of the COVID pandemic, right? But the way he figured that out was, he said it was after one of his mushroom trips, he was able to get himself down to a molecule of these micro environments, right? And figure out a solution for his problem. And I'm pretty sure he got a Nobel Peace Prize for that. But like even he attributes being able to figure out these type of things because of a psychedelic state, right? So the hidden fields hypothesis. What I'm saying is there's been so many times throughout history where we figure out, oh, there's a new field that exists that's been there the whole time. So what I'm saying is there's probably more other fields that we can't detect. The same way that you could try to explain a person from the year 1500 about Wi-Fi and radio signals, but if you don't have the technology or the way to show them, they'd be like, this is crazy. And even if you did have the technology, right? Let's say you take your iPhone and it works somehow, and you're in the year 1500, you're like, hey, look, I'm gonna FaceTime my brother, and he's like half the world away, and he's gonna talk to me. They like burn this witch. He has a black mirror, and he's fucking summoning faces and voices out of it. This is a witch. Burn him. Burn her at the stake. They're gonna do the cross. They're gonna fucking throw holy water on you. Burn him. But that's technology that exists today. Does that make sense? It's unfathomable to a certain mind or a certain context, but it's normal to us. One of my favorite quotes in life is, any sufficiently advanced enough technology is indiscernible from magic. So if the technology is so advanced and you can't comprehend how even they got there, right? That shit is magic to you. If you try to show, you go back to let's say Neanderthal times, they're using spears or hunting big game. And you just drop a US military soldier with all his gear. And he shows you a fucking, they might even have bows and arrows. And he shows you an M4 or an automatic rifle. And he shoots and he kills somebody from 200 yards away. This guy is a sorcerer. This is crazy. This is not, but that's the same world, the same reality, the same laws of physics, right? It's just a different level of understanding of what's possible or what's there on you all the time. It's funny to me that people somehow think they're at the frontier of the whole universe. It'll never get more advanced than this. Brother, the year 25, 26, they're going to be looking at us like barbarians. Look what they did. Oh, they did chemo for cancer. These people are retarded. That's besides the point. Anyways, so what I'm saying is there's hidden fields out there. and ideas might be there. What we as humans understand as ideas might exist as patterns in this type of field. And you probably have a better chance of honing into some of them. Maybe all this is wrong. Maybe it's all wrong. I don't know. These are ideas. These are fun. Play with it. And that's it. Welcome. Thank you for coming to the dojo. Tell your mama said hi. Where your mom at? Where your mom at?
Nigga, where your mom at, nigga? Hey, nigga, where your mom at, nigga? Where your mom at, nigga?